So last night, my three daughters and I were out on the golf cart, just doing our little evening ride and going through all the just beautiful, sweet neighborhoods around us. And we were driving down this one street. I was in the passenger side. Kendall was driving. Kelsey and Kennedy were on the back. And it was so wholesome. And I just don't know another word. It was almost picture book. Perfect. Literally, okay? This husband and wife and little toddler baby, looked like she was just new to walking. And their sweet, precious dog out on a family walk. Literally, so we're coming up from behind them, and it looks like a scene out of a storybook. Just, they were perfectly lined up, yet it was so natural. And so we're coming up beside them and going slow, and I told Kendall, I'm like, stop. And, the husband, they all kind of stop and look at me, and I'm like, y'all, I have to tell you, you are the most beautiful family. Y'all made me smile. And then the gorgeous wife, she's turned to me and facing me, and I can see her completely. She's very pregnant and just stunning. And she's beaming, and the husband's beaming, and their beautiful baby toddler girl is smiling, and the puppy is adorable. Literally. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. And the husband's like, look at you and your beautiful family. You guys are a beautiful family. And I have had this on my heart. There's just so much negativity. You can't turn on the news. Not that I watch the news without hearing just traumatic stories. And that's real life, right? That's just the reality. But there's so much goodness. There's so much wholesomeness. And I have made it a point, God has put it upon my heart. I want to say maybe it's been over the last year, maybe even 18 months. But, as time passes, I get better at it, and it has become stronger upon my heart. And now it's just become natural for me to stop and tell people what's on my mind in a good way, because we know can be blunt and passionate. But literally, so, if I am out walking around and, I see a woman, I don't, if she's in her early 20s, if she's in her 60s, anywhere in between, and she's, you can tell she spent time putting herself together and she looks nice, and I'm thinking that, I stop and I tell her that. I'm like, wow, that is a beautiful dress. Or you look so lovely today. Again, a complete stranger, somebody I have never seen before, more than likely I'm never going to see again. And no matter what the situation, where I'm at, it's refreshing for people to hear. Likewise, I have heard this before, but even at our local McDonald's, and this was a while ago, I had shared this, but there is this woman who is the most remarkable, outstanding worker. And I feel like she needs to be under the CEO of the entire McDonald's chain. She is just phenomenal. And I remember taking the time one day saying you are incredible at what you do. And she was just in tears. And again, it took 30 seconds of my day to share what I was thinking. And she probably still remembers that. Yesterday, me sharing about my new dear friend Larry and what how incredible he was in helping my kids and I buy a car. And I shared it to many local moms groups. And there are dozens and dozens of comments from families who know Larry, who have used Larry, whether recently or years and years ago. who have said the most incredible things about him, and they're being compiled and shared with Larry. And yesterday, when I had talked to him in the afternoon, after he knew, we got our picture together in the morning, and he knew I made the post, he was like just holding back tears. And those comments, like someone who has been in the business over 30 years and working so hard and loves his job and is fantastic at it, and to be able to hear that. And again, this isn't inflating people's egos. This is loving on them. This is, and again, I'm just nobody special at all. I'm just telling you something that I've done and God's put upon my heart is to share these positive things that I'm thinking. And how often have you walked past somebody and thought something nice and you just didn't feel comfortable, like, going up and saying it and being like a creeper? I mean, I've withheld so many compliments over my lifetime. But I really, truly try to make sure I go out of my way to share those things. And last night, so then as we were like wrapping back around, we had seen the sweet couple again, and they all like kind of knelt down. They saw us coming. The mom and dad knelt down by the dog and their sweet little girl, and they were all waving at us, and the little toddler is waving at us. Like, just, it gave me, like, it reignited my faith and hope in humanity. Like, what a beautiful, precious, wholesome family. And again, as much as I fight and expose evil, it's like I'm like a big gushy, mushy person that just, stuff like that melts me. It simply melts me. And I don't know, I just wanted to share that because I feel like we all need a little encouragement or a little extra push to tell people that. And again, I always share this, my love language is words of affirmation. And if that is not your love language, and it may certainly not be everybody's, but I promise you, I always feel like God, nothing is coincidence with God. And when he puts things upon your heart and he puts you in a certain place at a certain time, people need to hear those things. I promise you, 99.999% of the time, people are not overhearing these things. I promise. So if it's like not even a compliment, but you just feel pulled, like I love babies, you all know that, but I also like have this pull towards elderly people, and I love being able to just like talk and visit with them, even if it's for a few moments. And so, if my kids and I are at like the YMCA park and like doing some type of sports, messing around, walking, jogging, whatever, and I see like an elderly man or woman alone, and it's like the right moment, like I'll go up and start a conversation, and they just beam because they just want somebody to talk to. And again, I'm a mom of 5. I'm so busy. It's like, okay, if I'm doing something, I'm always thinking, it's like I have to be better about enjoying it in the moment. I'm like, okay, this is what I have to do next. But it's like we all have 3 minutes. I've even been at restaurants or like little festival type things, and I've taken notice of like a mom who looks very tired, frustrated, stressed, whether she has 1 kid or 7 kids, or she's with her baby or toddler, and she's doing a good job, but you can see, like, as we're all there every day at some point, like, like I will go up and be like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to creep you out. I've noticed you a few times. You are doing such a good job. You look like an incredible mom. And 9 times out of 10, these moms like just want to break down and cry. And they're like, thank you so much. I'm having such a hard day. You have no idea how much I needed to hear that. And so if God put something upon your heart, share it.